Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this episode we are going to see how you could handle a request that is received from the client side in the PHP server. So since we are creating APIs, we cannot have every file to be open to world, okay? So I need to restrict them so that I could handle my requests a very easy way. So we call it as routes. So we could see how you could handle routes in PHP. So before we get into the actual content, I just had a few things that I have done in the offline and I just want to show you. So yeah, so we're just working on our database framework if you remember or doesn't actually. So the last episode it's about that. So I just added three different methods in the offline, okay? So the first method I just want to show you is about handling response, okay? So this method simply handles the response. So what it does is it's going to take the MySQL object. So if you have watched my previous episodes, I just said when you're making a query from PHP, the SQL on the server, okay, the database is going to send you an MySQL object, okay. So we are going to convert that into our PHP object, okay. PHP base, it's an array or an associative array, whatever you assume. So I'm going to convert that MySQL object into my PHP based array. So it's a little like it's in a query error. Initially I'll just put query as false, so I'll check the result is something. If not, I'll just make sure the query errors is being loaded. So in case it's true, I'll just make sure it's not boolean value. If it's a boolean value, I'll just return the response. If it is not a boolean value, I'll load the MySQL object, okay. So the fetch associate will read each value and push that into array, and I'll finally put the length of the array that I had, and boom, I'll just forward it that, okay. I'll just forward the response to my caller, okay. So whoever called it, I'll just send the response. So the next method I just introduced here is query. So I don't think we're going to use it, but I just created in case we need it, okay. So this query is going to take the entire query and it's going to send it to MySQL, okay. It's going to use the connection and it's going to send. So the other function or method I just added is update simple. So this method is a simple update method which is going to update one single value using one single where class, okay. So update table name, column name and value. So where it will just check for only one column and one value, okay. If that matches, it's going to update that particular column with that value. So that's I'll just wanted to show you. So in every method, okay, so in every method like read simple, insert simple, I just added this one, okay. So instead of handling MySQL object all the time, I'm using the handle response method that I have created in the offline, okay. So that is the stuff I just want to explain before we get into the content. Now coming to our content, okay, it's about routing, right? Yep. So before we get into the content, I just had a few things to explain about the today's content. Okay. So if you have familiar with this networking stuff, if you have came across .ht access file, okay. If not, I'll just explain you. So it's like a file which is gonna help you to configure your server. So what to show, what not to show, and how to handle the request. I could do with this pretty much this file, okay. So since we are applying APIs, I didn't want my files to be open to the world. So I'm gonna create a ht file here, okay, .ht access file. So wherever you want, you could create this file, and whenever a request comes to this file, I mean that location, it's gonna handle it perfectly. Now I'm gonna write a simple code, okay. I'm gonna write a simple code which is gonna help me redirect any request that passes the v1, okay. So right now we are in the v1 directory, okay. So in the from the v1 directory, I doesn't want my request to be forwarded any further. So I just wanted them to be forwarded to this v1, okay, that this index.php. So I could do it in a simpler way, okay. Watch me. So I'll say rewrite engine, okay, on and rewrite rule, okay. So I'll just add a simple rewrite rule, okay. This isn't a complex code I'm writing, so this is simpler. So you could find this file in the github, okay. And a small regular expression to capture anything. So whatever it is, so this regular expression is gonna match anything. Anything, it's like a anything match. Sorry, oops. Okay, so I'm gonna forward that to the index.php. So sorry, so index.php is the file which is this. So it's gonna forward any request that comes here to that. So I'm gonna say QSA and L. Okay, so I does not speak much about that because I doesn't have any idea much about these parameters, but only thing I know is it's gonna take anything that's come into this file will be directed to index.php. So no one can request a database or a template. Anything cannot be seen or requested out of this one. Okay, once it reaches here, it is automatically redirect to here. So let me write a simple code that's gonna say echo hello world. Okay, so now, okay, semicolon, there we go. I'll just comment this one for now. Yeah, so now what should happen is if I open my postman, okay, I'll just create a new request. I'll just so if I say here, okay, I'll just use the browser, it's better. Localhost slash blog slash API slash v1. Yeah, it's working pretty good, right? So if I say login, it still say hello world. What if I say login slash something like developers work? See, it still says hello world. What if I say like something like a route example? See, still it says hello world. So you want to know how this happens? I'll just show you. Okay, I'll also echo $_server. I think it's request URI underscore URI. Yep, this should be good. I'll just pause it. Okay, now if I refresh, you could see it is going to blog slash API slash vegan slash login and blah blah blah. It's going on. Oops, yeah, I'll just unlock it. I'll add a beer. Oops, yeah, there we go. Fine. Oh, yeah, you could see hello world. So even if I remove this and enter, you could still see this has been working. So I still see hello world, but the top route changes. So if I say database base slash index.php, see, it's going to index.php. It's saying that it's going to index.php and it's saying hello world. Okay, so we are making any request to come to our index.php. Now it's time to handle the routes, right? So most commonly what I know is every route comes to here. Okay, so it's better if you see here. So yeah, okay, so any route that should pass this one. Okay, so only if this passes this one will be redirected to whatever it is. So I'll just take this one here. Okay, I'll just copy it and I'll say route. So it's a dollar route. Okay, route equal to str replace, okay, of, so I just wanted to replace this block v1 slash v whatever it is with an empty array which is in $_server, okay, of request URI. So I'll get a route, right? I'll just write a simple switch case. Okay, it's gonna take the route. Okay, it's gonna take the route and the first case is slash login. Okay, if it's a slash login, I'm gonna echo login page. I'm gonna break. Okay, in case it is a page related to register, I'm gonna say echo register. oops, and then I'll break. And finally we need a default case, right? I'll just make a default case which is going to say default page. I'll just say it's at 400 bad request. Okay, it's better. It's optional if you say break or not. Okay, that doesn't matter here. Okay, now let's see. So just put it ahead. I'll just put a break here. So it's okay, now it should be good. There we go. So this is the URI and it says 404 bad request and hello world. Okay, I'll just comment this hello world for a sec. It'll be easier to understand. There we go. So now if I add it to login, you could see the blog API v1 slash login and the page it's login page. So if I type it's a register, see it's saying blog hyphen API v1 slash register and it's a register page. If I say register.php, it says bad request because the switch case here matches the exact word. Okay, it doesn't match the approximation. So if you want to add approximation like see in the whatever it is .php .html or whatever it is, if it starts with register, if you want him to be redirected to some other page, I mean register, you could use the regular expressions to match it, and I mean you could use if conditions, but in my case I doesn't want to do that. Okay, only if it is matches with the register, I want it to be gone through register. Okay, so that is about routing stuff. Okay, so that is what I want to cover in this episode. So in the next episode we are going to start our class v1 and we're going to create a simple login API. Okay, so we're going to create a simple login API which is going to authenticate the people. So yeah, and meanwhile I just wanted to say, if you wanted to import the database, you could see inside the database directory in the v1 you could find the template.sql file, so you could use that to import and start working on this progress. Okay, so in case if you haven't noticed how you could actually use the database, so that's where I put. So in the future, in case I put some sample data, you could use this template.sql file to import the data into your database. Okay, wherever you're practicing this stuff. So thank you, I'll meet you in the next episode. Okay.